So let's see if we can get to the truth. Probably not. But on our way to trying to figure out what the hell is going on, we're going to talk about it. And hopefully somebody, especially a woman, is going to heed what's going to come out of my mouth and going to look up this information and going to pass it down to the younger generation of females because women are in trouble. So let's get into it. Yeah. All right, let's get into this. You ladies are in trouble. You're in big, big, big trouble. And now you're in so much trouble that even when you think you're safe, you're not safe. The trafficking game is in the prison systems, but it's so blatant right now that it has spilled over into the news. It's public. It's pretty much public now. If you go to certain prisons, you will be trafficked. You will be sold. Now, when you look at the definition of being trafficked, it's pretty much somebody who's pretty much sold into slavery or some type of situation where you don't want to be in, where you did not willingly put yourself into that situation. You're completely unaware of what's going to happen until it happens, you know? So some of you women who are out here doing, you're doing, okay, so let's take situations that are very common now in America's society tells women it's okay to do. It's okay to damage a man's car. You got songs about it. I bust the windows out your car. You got Carrie Underwood, talking about she took a bat to somebody's car. You got, women making these songs and telling other women, hey, when you get upset, your man cheats, which is not a crime if you're not married. But in some states it is kind of looked at as a crime in divorce court, but it's not a crime where you go to jail. Your man cheats, you find out about it, you get upset, you have the legal right to go out and damage his property and or cause him damage because your emotions took control and your emotions pretty much dictated what was legally right and wrong. And you had millions of other women saying, yeah, girl power, go out and do it. Don't worry about it. You're not going to go to jail. You're not going to get punished for this. But when you get into the grasp of the legal system, you find out that that is completely the opposite of correct. And now you find yourself, doing, let's just say 6 months. Say you get 2 years, but you get 6 months, you got to do day for day, right? You're like, 6 months, that's nothing. It's just for damage and whatever they over indicted you with. You go and you're like, I'm going to do these 6 months, sit down, it's nothing. I'll come back out, I got away with it pretty much, right? This is what you think. Well, they don't look at it like that. They gave you 6 months because they know that as soon as you walk into those doors, that you are now a ward of the state. So, in a nutshell, your own ownership as a citizen of the United States has been stripped away. You're now a ward of the state. You are protected by the state, but you are also utilized by the state. This is why when prisoners go and work, they make very, very little money because they're owned by the state. This is also why when something happens to the prisoners, like, you know, when they get, AR'd, it is they go after the person who did it because you went after somebody who belongs to the state. You did this to a prisoner. They belong to the state. But what they don't tell you is you belonging to the state, meaning the state can do what they want with you. Okay, so we have a situation in Indiana where the prison guards sold women in the prison to the prisoners for $1,000 each. And just drink that in. Regular prisoner, male, regular prisoner, female, separated. But the prison guards said, we'll sell you to any one of them. Now, you've heard situations of prison guards getting prisoners pregnant. Male prison guards getting prisoners pregnant, female prison guards getting pregnant by prisoners. We know this has been going on. But the wholesale of the prison, of the female prison, and this is what they did. This is what they did. Now, they said you can have a whole block, a whole cell. Now, if you don't understand the enormity of this, they sold the keys to the prisoners, to the male prisoners in bulk. They didn't have one male prisoner come in, go to one jail cell where there was one woman. They sold it to several male prisoners who came in all at once and went to whatever cell that they wanted to. And not unless you're on 24 lockdown, you're being punished, you're in a hole, you're in a cell with several other people. Now, it could be a 2-person cell, it could be a 8-person cell, or it can be a 30-person cell. So let's just say that there's 8 females in a cell. 2 prisoners who are in for God only knows what. They open the door to your prison and walk in and they snatch you. Now, of course, you're thinking the other prisoners in there are going to help you or whatever, but that isn't what happened. Because anybody who stepped up got beat down. And this happened for hours. This is something that lasted for hours. Several male prisoners came in with keys and went to any cell they wanted to and started knocking off these females. They were assaulted, they were assaulted. So this tells me that, for one, these females wasn't with the program. Now, we heard of situations where the females would willingly give themselves into this. There's this trade that's been going on in prison for the longest time where the female's like, I'm up for it, I need the D, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? There's also a situation where a woman came to visit a prisoner and got, essayed by a bunch of prison guards. That happened too. This situation is completely different. The guards who ran that section, from the head of the guards on down, all of them were in on it. They all knew. They all knew what was going to happen. And here's the thing about it. They all vacated the premises. They were all gone. There was nobody to help these females. Nowhere. Not even their fellow, inmates who were in other cells because the cells were still locked. They just walked up looked at the female they wanted to get with, and that female had zero choice. She couldn't bargain. She couldn't reason. She couldn't cry her way out. She couldn't cry feminism. She couldn't pay her way out of that situation, and nobody helped her. Anybody who stepped up got beat down with extreme prejudice. Beat down. Beat down. There was no don't do this. There was no attitude. There was nothing. You step up, you're going to meet the floor. And that's going to be that for you. And not only are we going to beat the hell out of you, we're going to keep beating the hell out of you. And taught all those females who wanted to step up a lesson. And they watched their friends get SA'd. This actually happened. Now, the thing about it is, this happened in Indiana, right? All the guards were in on it. They all had to be in on it. And pretty much, I would say, not only are the guards in on it, but the people who control the prison systems are in on this. We're talking about from the police to the mayor to politicians. They all know about this. This is one reason. Listen, the prisons are privatized. This is why we got more prisons than anyone in the world. They are privatized. This is why you have police putting people in jail for little to no reason. Sandra Bland, God rest her soul, went to jail because she allegedly didn't make a turn signal. Allegedly. Which is not even an arrestable offense. It's not even an offense where you have to get out of your vehicle. But he told her to get out of her vehicle and then arrested her. And when she went to prison, she died. Not only that, 5 other women, the same thing happened to them in the same year. You just didn't hear about them. The scale of this incident that happened is pretty much the balloon bursting. It's been happening for years, but now it's so blatant. They got so bold with it because they figure there's nobody that's going to stop them. That's why it got this big. This isn't the first time. It isn't the first jail, and it's probably not going to stop. And this is one reason why I tell the women all the time, you are in trouble. And women think that I hate them. You know, one woman's like, you get off to stuff like this. No, listen. You know what I get off to? You know, you know what I got? For one, I love watching a great movie. You know, I get off to eating a good sandwich and watching a great movie. I get off to silence and chilling out. That's what I get off to. But do I get off to women getting their ass kicked? No. But when I tell you, just like a lot of other men are telling you, women, stop this twerking nonsense. Get off of social media showing your body. Stop having your little girl on there shaking her hips. Stop all this nonsense. Cut out all that vibrato you got, because you're not going to be a man in a fight, in a one-on-one. You're not going to beat him. A lot of you women are going to the gym and thinking that you're strong as a man. Listen, you may be abnormally strong. You may win a couple fights, but you do not want to go up against a man who's doing the same thing you are. You're not going to beat a man who's doing what you're doing. You're lifting weights, he's lifting weights. He's going to crush you. That's that. Get off of this. Look, you can be independent. I don't care about that. And you can throw it in our face. You're young, you're independent and all that, but a lot of you women are turning that around too. You're regretting that. All this evil and all this attitude you got for no reason, cut that out. Your power is in being a feminine woman. A lot of you women are going after men. You're hitting men. You're doing everything you can to make a man angry on purpose, taking their children away. You're doing whatever you can to piss a man off. Whatever you can. And that usually ends up in some type of violent form. and you go to jail. You're not exempt from prison because you're a female. They want you to go to jail. Listen, the feminist movement was not started by men. It started by women. You got to understand that men, the very men who you so-called hate, are capitalizing off of your stupidity. When you go to the prison, you're a ward of the state. Your freedom is nil. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your connections. They don't care if you love God. They don't care if you're a church woman. You are a vagina when you hit the jail. That's it. Your value is in sex. The jail system is a prime place for trafficking. That's what they're doing to you. You got females that are in their pregnant and they're like, families are like, one guy said, how did my sister end up pregnant in jail? How? I don't like the feminist movement. But I understand how a lot of women are like, you know what, I'm gonna go it alone. Because there's not enough men for you. And if we go by the standard, one woman, one man, it's just not equal. There are just too many women. So some of you are not going to get a husband. This is why poly is a bigger thing now. Women are like, you know what? I'm down with it. Let's go. At least I'll have a family. And you will. So that's your choice. That's your choice. But a lot of you women who listen to these magazines and these Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and all these women lying to you while they're doing the opposite of what they're telling you. All you women out here showing off your ass and titties every day, you need to stop it. Stop it. Because the world is getting uglier by the second. Listen, yesterday I was driving and I saw, these women. There were nothing but women, and they had these girls out that were doing car washes. And these girls were, I don't know what grade they were, but they were like real young. And I was like, what's going on? They was like, yeah, we're doing this for cheerleading. We're doing a car wash and we're giving away candy and water. And, I said, how much is it? They're like, it's donations. I was like, cool. So I go and I support that. I even gave some extra money, right? And I was talking to the one woman. I said, I really like to see this principle installed in our young people, especially our women. Young girls need to know this. And they need to know that it's going to get hard out here. She said, it's already hard out here. She said, it's getting really, really bad. She said, I drive that little car over there and it costs me $70 to fill it up. I said, imagine filling my truck up and I have two of these. She said, I just can't imagine it. See, the reality is, it's hard out here, and the harder it gets, the more anger comes out in society. It's not getting any easier. Gas prices are still going up. And the harder it gets, the more angrier society is. The more angrier men are. The more you talk about how much you hate men, the more you mistreat men, the less they have sympathy for you in a situation. There was a video where a woman was filming herself changing her tire. Black woman, decent looking, and there were men around that wouldn't help her. And one guy walked past and told her what to do, but he did not help her. This is the reality that you're in. You're on your own, ladies. A lot of women are trying to turn it around and say, you know what, I no longer want to be independent. But you're 40. We don't care. Ladies, be careful of listening to the wrong advice, the wrong people, the wrong music, hanging out with the wrong people, letting the wrong people in your life. You do not want to end up in any of these situations. You want our help. You want our help, ladies. You do. You want our help. Listen, I understand there's some people you need to scream at, but know who you need to scream at and who you need to be nice to and who you need to say nothing to. Because if you get into a situation where you have to do something to somebody because your emotion told you that it's safe to do, you're going to end up behind bars. And it could be for a month, it could be for 6 months, it could be for 6 years. It doesn't matter if it's a day. There are stories where people are going to jail for just 7 days and getting wrecked. You got that one kid that was in New York who was thrown in jail for, of course, for something he didn't do. He died in there. Be careful, females. This trafficking is not something that's outside of the bubble of America. It's right here. Trafficking is right here, right in front of your face, right now. Watch yourself. You know, while I was there talking to that woman, another woman was looking at me like I was some type of threat. She just kept looking at me, and I was like, "I'm getting out of here." When they were done with my car, I jumped in my car, I rolled away. You think I'm gonna go and support them again? No, because now a lot of women are starting to look at men who actually want to help them and want to do something. We're the enemy. Just the male are being the enemy because there's a bunch of young females here. All of a sudden I'm the enemy when you set up tents and told anybody to come and give donations for a car wash, but now you're looking at the men skeptically, and I did absolutely nothing wrong. I won't support them again. I won't be back. I don't go around people like that. Once she gave me that look, that was it. I already knew what it was. I won't come back. If they're out there next week, I will just roll on by. And that's just that. You ladies got to be careful of who's supporting you and who's not supporting you. Look, if you want nothing but the women to support you, then just say that. Men will leave you alone. But if a man rolls up and tries to give you support and you look at him like the enemy, he gets the message. I'm trying to tell you, females, you need to change your mindset. You need us. Stop going off of your emotions. Stop being illogical. Stop fighting. You women who are out here fighting each other, just rolling up and just going up into these, you want to go fight with the Asians. Don't go and get service from the Asians. You shouldn't get you're looking like that anyway. With your nails looking all unnatural and your hair not even yours. You got a horse's hair on your head. You shouldn't be looking like that. Your makeup, you don't even recognize who you are. You look totally foreign from the place you come from. You do. And you want to go fight with them? Screw the Asians. Don't go in and get nothing from them if you got to fight with them. Don't fight with these people. You want to fight with each other over the most dumbest reason, over something off of social media. Stay off of social media because listen, fighting each other is assault. If you go to jail for assault, even if it's a simple assault, it's felony. You could be in there for 2 years, all because somebody said they didn't like your weave. That's 2 years of your life, and guess what? Guess what you're going to be doing the whole time you're in there. You're going to be taken advantage of because you no longer are an individual. You're a ward of the state, and the state can do what they want with you. They feed you if they want. They put you in solitaire if they want. Hell, they've been known to lock people up for 10 years just in a cell by themselves. That's cruelty. But imagine if you're a woman in a cell by yourself. And some of you are like, oh, that's nothing. Well, it's nothing until every male prison guard is coming in there taking turns on you. And then selling your body to prisoners. That's what's going on. They're selling your body to prisoners. And listen, some of you are strong, some of you can fight, but you can't fight that good. No man can handle that. We can't fight off everyone. We just can't. And you being a woman, you're not going to fight off any of those guards because they're huge. And they're going to come in teams. And they're going to break your face the minute you raise your hand. You're either with the program or you're going to get broken. And they don't care about you because there are plenty of females in there. And none of you are going anywhere. None of you. You want to go call your lawyer or call your family, they're listening on your call. As soon as you make that call, your ass is going to get broke again. It's not a situation where you want to be in. I'm telling you, ladies, to change your mind now. I don't know who's listening. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I don't know. Some people may think I'm talking out the side of my neck, but the reality is, if you end up in an Indiana jail, the trafficking is so blatant that they don't even care that they got caught. And for some of you who think where the prisoners get their money from, well, that's just like asking the Uvalde shooter, where did he get his money from? Listen, a prisoner can go to jail dead broke. Dead broke. But if somebody from the outside wanted that prisoner to have access to something, they can pay for it. You understand what I'm telling you? It could be a no-name bum off the street. And, okay, here's the situation. Recently, there were 5 black male prisoners. They were all brought out to an area and they were all chained, handcuffed to a bench in a building, metal bench. They were sitting there playing cards, whatever. And then there was a white prisoner that was also brought out with them. The white prisoner was handed a knife and he was not handcuffed. He got up and he stabbed 3 prisoners. And you can see the video where the prisoners are trying to fight him off while they're handcuffed to the bench. What happened to the white prisoner once the smoke cleared? Nothing, because he was in there for life. And the guard said it wasn't anything racist. It was nothing but racial. That's what I'm saying. These are the type of things that are happening to people in prison. You are a ward of the state. They wanted those 5 men to get cut up. So they let one guy who had no chance against any of them in a 1v1 stab 3 of them. And they don't care that it got reported because this guy is not getting out of jail. He's in there for life. So they're using him to get their racial anger out. They're doing the same thing with women. You go in there, you got a pretty face, and some of you, got a pretty face. You got a nice little shape going on. Hey, it is what it is, but you got angry at your dude or at a woman or some reason, and you got into it with somebody. And then you filmed it on social media, and you're the one who got punished in court. You're the one that has to go in for a year or 2. Bang. That's it. You're a ward of the state. You're property of the state. You're going to get tagged the whole time you're there. And if they want to keep you, they will. This has happened before. You're going to get tagged, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And even when you get out and talk about it, which has happened, women have got out and talked about what's going on in there. Still, nothing is getting done. Do you know why? Because it's not just the prison system. The prison system is controlled by politicians. All right? They're the ones who are getting money from the people who are building prisons. The people who are building prisons have access to, of course, the police, the guards, and your ass. So they're not going to make a big stink and say, hey, we need to change something. Because all of these angry men, all of these angry and foul men now have access to the one thing that they all want, sex. And they don't have to bargain with you to get it. You understand the danger behind that. There's no, you have no leverage, none whatsoever. You have no physical leverage, you have no financial leverage, you have no sisterhood that's going to save you. The feminist movement is not going to pour out, and Katie Couric is going to come say, there's nobody, there's nothing. You're by yourself. And you're watching you and your friend get essayed, and everybody in the jail knows it's happening to you because it's also happening to them at the same time. And all you angry females in there can do absolute zilch. Nothing. You're unarmed. You're not physically prepared. There's nothing you can do. You can write all the letters you want. You can go to your whoever, your congressman, your state representative. It doesn't matter because they all know. They're just waiting for you women to just do something stupid. Oh, you want to get loud? Go ahead. Get into a fight. Go ahead. Steal something. Please. Please steal something. They're just looking at you, licking their lips. Oh, you're going to steal some hair? Especially a black woman. They really hate you. They really, really hate you. Please, go ahead. Steal some hair, black woman. Please steal some gas. Do something. And sometimes they're just putting you in jail. Some of you aren't even making it to jail. Look at that black woman just recently in Atlanta. Her people called the police on her because she had some kind of mental issue. Usually, the police don't even show up. The hospital shows up. But this time, the police showed up. When the police showed up, they handcuffed this woman who was like, I think she's like 30. They handcuffed this woman. They threw her into the back of the police car and shut the door and headed down the street. Problem is, the door wasn't already shut, and they did not handcuff the girl. They did not handcuff her to the back of the car. You know how they do? They handcuff you to the back. They didn't do that, and they did not put a seatbelt on the car. But the girl was handcuffed the whole time. She fell out of the car. Brain injury, stayed in a coma for a couple days, and she just died. This just happened. And when they showed the film of the one police officer who was black, who, when they realized that the woman fell out of the car, they circled back and got her. And the one officer was trying to wake her up. And he was like, come on, wake up. This is Officer so-and-so. He was very casual about it. And the one guy was like, something's wrong with her. He said, nah, she's going to be all right. That woman is now dead. She's dead. They didn't give a damn because they didn't secure her. They could have easily secured her. They could have sat her up straight, for one. They could have put a seatbelt around her. And they didn't even make sure the door was locked. They didn't even make sure the door was all the way closed. The door was open. It was open. And they took off, bang. She falls out, hits her head, bounces along the road, coma. That's it for her. You women are not safe. You're not. Listen, I was listening to, Tate or whatever it is, Andrew Tate or whatever, and he was talking about how America is a bubble. And he said, when you get outside of America, it's just a polar opposite of what it is in America when it comes to society. And, women trying to lead society and all this other thing. Then I was listening to Paul Washer, and he said that he said, when God punishes a nation is when they take the noblemen, when God takes the noblemen out of society. He said, I travel all over the world, and all over the world, men are angry at America. because the men in America are weak. They don't even know what is a woman anymore. They don't know what's a man anymore. And then the men in America on a whole are not standing up. They're running around looking like women, that all the noble men are being taken out. And anyone who's correcting these people and saying, oh, this is what a woman is, this is what a man is, these people are being canceled, shut down, they're being threatened, because the American society is completely breaking down a system that has worked since the beginning of time. It's even biblical. It's worked from the beginning of time. And now you have a bunch of rogue men who do not look at women as women. This is a danger. When men dehumanize females. You're not the stronger sex. We are not equal. We're not. We're not equal. We're not even close. A man's hand strength is 17 times stronger than a woman. This is natural. And you can go ahead and change it up once you come out of Planet Fitness or whatever, and I'm stronger than a man. No, you're stronger than a man who doesn't go to Planet Fitness. You're not stronger than a man who's doing what you're doing in the same frequency. There's no competition. And you women, for some reason, think that you can do anything a man can do, and you can do better, when society clearly illustrates that that's nowhere near the truth. I'm just, not too many people watch these videos, and that's fine. But I just have it on my heart to constantly warn you women that you're in deep trouble. And if you don't change, if you don't practice what God has given you and the way God has given it to you, then you're going to end up in one of these prisons. You're going to end up, if you haven't seen the newest World Star video where two men attacked a group of women, and the one woman who thought she could fight, they knocked her down, then they knocked her out, and then they kicked her in the face. This is not what a man should be doing to a woman. You are no competition. And this all happened because the men hit on these group of women. Listen, they don't look at you as a person. They look at you as a need that they need to exercise temporarily. They're not trying to marry you. They're not even trying to court you. They want one thing from you. And when they can't get it, they become violent. And this is not all men, but there are more and more men coming out of the woodwork. Even the good guy now is passive aggressive towards women. Even the nerds that you hated in high school, they're passive aggressive towards women. They're going MGTOW, they're going whatever. They're excluding women from their life on a personal level. But they're still nice to you. They're respectable, but you see women who are going on, buses and trains and trying to hold some men's hands, and the man is instantly rejecting them. You see them asking for a man's Instagram, and the man is instantly rejecting them because he's afraid. He thinks that you're up to something, and it's not going to end up well for him. He thinks that one kiss is going to get him 10 years because it's happened. A black woman kissed, they were in high school, a high school star who was going to go to the NFL. Listen, he was going to skip college and go to the NFL. This is how good this guy was. And he was in an elevator with another high school female, his age, who they thought liked each other, and they kissed. And that's it. She cried rape. They came, they arrested him, and they put him in jail for 10 years. And after, and not only did they put him in jail for 10 years, she got $1.5 million. He did his 10 years. He always claimed he was innocent. He's like, all I did was kiss the girl. His whole career gone. Everything he worked for gone. And then when he gets out of jail, the woman goes on social media and says, I lied. It was all a lie. He never did this to me. But 10 years has passed. His opportunity has passed. His skills have dwindled. His muscle reflexes is not as quick as somebody who would have gone straight into the NFL. Even though he's probably still superior to most people, he's no competition. The NFL gets faster and faster each year. He can't keep up with those guys. You just can't. So he has a record on his BCI he can't get rid of. He can't work for the city, the state, the county, or the government. Can't do any of those because they're going to disqualify you by your BCI. And there are also a lot of privatized organizations that will not hire him even though he was innocent. So there that is. What's he going to do? He has to rely on family. He has to go out here and hustle some kind of way. You know, he has to be, he has to flip burgers and get paid minimum wage, like the one guy who was flipping burgers for 27 years, barely making any money. And then they gave him these minuscule prizes because he was this guy never missed a day, 27 years, never missed a day at work. And they gave him a pencil or something stupid. But social media was like, screw that. That guy's got like $300,000 now because of a GoFundMe. People was like, no, to hell with that. But this is what happens. It's called being disenfranchised. So now all the men who've seen this guy's story, the football player, and look at his story, what do you think they feel about women? Especially women in college. What do you think? How do you think they look at women? They're going, college is supposed to be a time where I get plenty of sex, I have fun, we don't care. Now these guys got to go and be completely like, nah, because I don't know what you're going to do. What about those guys at Duke? And the stripper goes there and says, these guys essayed me. Kind of find out it was all a lie. The stripper. They hired a stripper. And she says they took her into the bathroom and did her wrong. They had sex with her. You're a stripper. What do people think about when they see strippers having sex? And you're going to go, oh, but you can't. You can't look at her and objectify her. Being a stripper is a job. It's a job that leads to sex. That's what happens. It's a job that tells men to throw away their, cognitive functions that tell them to act with some type of dignity. It's a job that tells men, hey, this is what you want. This is a prime directive. This is what you're sent here for. And you can say what you want, but that is the truth. You just want men to throw money at you and squeeze on you. No, what we're really thinking about is how can we bust? That's what we're thinking about. It's a job. Yeah, okay, it's a job you do at your own risk. But they didn't even do this to the woman. She got herself intoxicated. She went there. She got half naked. and they did absolutely nothing to her past what was requested. Nothing. And these are a bunch of white guys, rich white guys. The lacrosse team. Okay? Big dollars. She straight up lied. And a good lawyer came and got all of them out of that situation. And they tried to crucify those dudes. But when I saw the story, without even knowing the ending, I was like, something's not right here. That black girl is lying. And you would think because I'm black, I'm for the black woman. It's a woman, I'm black. No, I'm for the truth. I don't believe all women. I don't. I do not believe all women because I've had women lie on me and try to do things to me in the court system. And I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? I actually had to become my own detective. I did. And I was in high school. That situation where the boy kissed girl and he went to jail, that almost happened to me. Yeah. Police came and got my black ass. Was like, we're gonna put you in jail. I was like, really? And I listened to him yell and scream and threaten me and all this other stuff. I was like, okay. And then I start questioning the police. I'm in high school, mind you. Fending for my life in high school. I can't even vote yet. I'm fending for my life. And these cops are screaming at me over a lie. I start talking to these cops, and they all got quiet. And I start asking them specific questions. And when they couldn't make heads or tail of what this female was talking about, they all realized that I was not the problem. She was. She was the problem. Okay? So I feel for people who are going through this. But that scarred me for life. That scarred me. That messed me. I messed my head up because my whole life could have just been okay. Now I was somebody who got a letter to go to Penn State. You got to understand, I wasn't a football star, but I was half decent. If Penn State, which is a D1 school, saw me play and sent me a letter, I was half freaking decent. All right. I wasn't the biggest star out there, but I had some damn good games. All right. And they were like, boom. I broke a record in high school for the most consecutive hits in one game. And that's what got their attention. Slippery Rock also wrote me a letter. I think they're a D2 school. D2 or 3, I don't know. Nonetheless, like I said, I was half decent. But when that happened to me, it changed my whole trajectory. Things changed. I had to move. I had to get up out of there. My concern after high school was no longer going to school and playing football. I was out there trying to find work, broke as hell. I was trying to find some work. I was trying to, I was living with my sister, and we were living in a 1-bedroom, and I was sleeping on a floor and on what little couch we had. It was rough. I was working for a company that was it was paying like $3, and so it was terrible. Then I tried to bag groceries, and I got fired for putting the celery in with the soap. Giant Eagle fired my ass. Bam! I couldn't keep a job. My mind was still messed up from what was going on or what happened. I can still remember the faces of the police officers, and I'm 54. I can still see the face of the girl. And the thing about it is, when I got into my young 20s, I saw that girl again. She looked at me, and I looked at her, and I recognized who she was, and I stood still. I was downtown. I was getting ready to get on the bus. She ran over to me and gave me her phone number, and then she ran away. I took that number and I threw it right in the garbage, and I never looked back. I'm just trying to tell you guys, and you women who are out there doing these things to men, we don't forget. We talk about it. And for the few men that listen to us, they talk about it. And it goes on and on and on. And they change their opinion about women who probably would never do anything like that to them. But now they're skeptical. They have to look at everything through a skeptical eye because it is what it is. We can do 10 years for something we didn't do. Hell, some of us, I mean, you got men who are doing 25 years for something they didn't do. And it makes us angry. Even if we didn't do a day, it's still, you said something that wasn't true. And all the other men knew. All the guys in high school, we knew. That's why they was like, wait, what? She said something that wasn't true. And laughed and made it so bad, she told me she was going to do it. I left. I got up out of there. I was like, I'm not hanging around here. You're crazy. Sure enough, came to my door, talking about I did something I didn't do. So, yeah, I'm just telling you, you women, you're not safe, and your delusion has turned into a sickness, and there are men who are on the receiving end, and not everybody is as rational as the next person. Not everybody looks at you and goes, "There's still something there. There's still women who are good out there." There's not everybody is like this. No, there are men who have their listen. Their blood is up. The more ass you shake in front of them, the less they think about you as being human. You are a whole. That's what you are. That's it. You are a prime directive. You're not even, we don't care about your opinion. We, ladies, you have to do better. You have to get men to care about you again. You have to get, and listen, saying that you're ready to be a housewife and somebody should take care of you is not the way to do it, especially when you've hit the wall twice. We don't give a damn. You're not worth anything to us at 40 years old. And some of you go, well, that's a damn shame. Well, no, it's a damn shame that it had to be like this. As far as marriage, I'm talking about. You're not worth anything to a man at 40 years old. Not a man seeking to have his own family. You're not. If a man doesn't want a family and he likes the position that you're in, yeah. But the majority of men want a family. And you can't go, I did what I wanted from 18 to 39 and now I'm ready to settle. It doesn't work like that. The likelihood of you having a child is unlikely. And if you do have one, the child's going to be, damaged in some kind of way, and so will you. So it's a likelihood that you might not even survive that, even though it happens, but it's just the likelihood. The average goes down each second. So you're not really giving us the benefit of you at 21. Not to mention the 21-year-olds. There are plenty of them, and they're everywhere. Of course, you got to weed through the crazies, but not all of them are crazy. I had one, I still got her number right here. I'm not going to call her. She was like, yeah, we can hang out. I'll come over, do some cooking, cleaning. And she sounds civil. I'm not interested. But I'm 54. And a 21-year-old presented herself to me. Black girl. And I can call her and we could probably hang out and do whatever. And you women think that it's us going after them. You women turn 40, 45 and think that you're still going to get this magical man. And then you get upset when we're just like, no, we're good. And you want to call us all kind of files and you're this file and that file. When a 20-year-old presents herself and without all of your problems that you're coming with, because you're coming with baggage, and when she presents herself, you're looking at us going, you're robbing the cradle. You're wrong. You want your mommy. You want little, it's just like, no, she's 21. She's out of college. She can vote. She's legal in every state. She lives on her own. She makes up her own mind. How am I some type of creep because she hits on me? Like, what? How weird is that? How and you shame men because of something they didn't do. This woman saw value in somebody who's twice her age. This is happening all over America. And they're younger than that, but we'll stick with 21 because I know how some of you people think. But it's happening to me at 54. And if it's happening to me, and I'm an average guy, I don't have a big house, I don't have fancy cars, I have 2 Chevy trucks, okay? And they're both old. And she wasn't the only 20-something-year-old who's done that recently. I had a 20-year-old do the same thing. I got her number too. I never called her. This is happening to older men all over the place because a lot of you women who are poisoned by social media have taken yourself out of the equation. And you have left an age gap where you are non-compatible by your own default. You've taken yourself out of the equation of marriage because of your independence, because you make so much money and the other person don't. Listen, if you don't believe me, watch the Pineapple Show. And watch a woman reject 50 men in like 20 minutes. And this is an average woman. She's an LA 5. And you know what she does for a living? OnlyFans. Make that make sense. And some of these guys are, good looking to average looking. Some of these guys make 100K to, 40K, like the majority of us. And she's no. She's 29 years old. No. And has a child. She's no. This is a statistic that you're watching a statistic. But yet she's like on the show more than once talking about, I want a man. But she's no. She's going to be 35 in a week. And she's not going to get as many men to present themselves to her. Not only that, she did that on social media. And she did it more than once. So the men who came on the show the second time already were prepared for rejection. They were like, I know you're going to reject me. She's like, pineapple, which means I reject you. Some guys even got on there and was holding a pineapple because he knew he's going to get rejected. Do you know what this does? You think this is a one-off? No, the men who see this, thousands of men who see this woman doing, they're going, I can't approach a woman who looks like this. I already know it's pineapples. So I'm not even going to bother. But you have a lot of pretty to average, LA 5 women out there who are like, no, I'm a good woman. But you have these same women going to these clubs and saying, nobody spoke to us. Why? Because we see this woman reject 40 men in just a few minutes. That translates. These guys go to the club or they go to anywhere where there's females are, to the gym and all these places. And immediately when we look at you, we think of her. And now we're in this position and we're going, mind your business, keep going. That's it. Don't say anything to this woman. And then you women go on social media saying nobody said anything to me. I was dressed like this, I look like that, I put on my Sunday best. Nobody said anything. Why? Because we know we're going to get pineappled. You women are making men more and more angry. And you're like, well, I don't have to date anyone if I then don't go on the show. Don't go on the show just to reject men and think it's funny. When you listen, I've been rejected before in the most sweetest way. I never forgot it. I say this all the time. This happened years ago. It's happened almost 15 years ago. I saw a lady in a store. I thought she was the bee's knees. And I was like, how you doing? And I was very respectful. She was like, fine. And I said, I'd like to get to know you. She said, listen, if I didn't have somebody tall, dark, and handsome like yourself already, then I would have said yes. And I said, thank you very much. And that was the end of the conversation. And I never forgot her face because she did it the right way. I had no ill intent. She was somebody, if she caught a flat tire and I seen her again, I would be more than happy to help her. If somebody stepped out of line towards her, I would be more than happy to help her because I had respect for her because she had respect for me. But you women who are doing it in the most negative way and then laughing at us, criticizing us, breaking us down because we don't drive a 2022 bullcrap car, telling us that our money is, we don't make enough money when all your money comes from OnlyFans. You got a child and you're nowhere near with the father, and the reason why you're not with the father is some BS. Or you got 2 children that we're supposed to step in and take care of and pay all the bills. No, to hell with that. We're not doing it. We'd rather be on our own, keep our little bit of money, drive our little, whatever we're driving, and just be as happy as we want. My neighbor kicked his girlfriend out because she didn't want to do anything. He did exactly what these women want. He paid all the bills. He goes to work every day. Come home, this woman would just be sitting in his house drinking up the beer. And then she would argue with him. He got tired of her. And he kicked her out and replaced her in a week. You women are in trouble. You good-looking women, you smart women, you women who are lawyers, doctors, all of you, you're in trouble. And if you don't change your mindset, you're going to hit 50 quick. And you're going to be bitter. You're going to be even more bitter than you are now. You don't cut out all this crap that you're putting on your face and all this stuff that you're wearing to try to get a man's attention, and it ain't working. It ain't working because we think that you're going to be nothing but trouble. All this ass shaking you're doing, guess what? Every man sees you shaking your ass. So when they see you in public, guess what they think? They're thinking about, how can I get to this ass? They may be nice to you, but the prime direction is, I saw you shaking your ass and I want some. If you're with a man and they recognize you and they see you, they're going to stare at your ass. They're going to be ignorant. They're not going to be somebody who respects you because you're not respecting yourself. You're not. You're getting on Instagram and showing everything that you can. I'm going to go ahead and go, but I just wanted to, go on this diatribe because the more and more I see women get literally kicked in the teeth, the more and more I feel as a single man that I need to speak on these things, because I'm hoping somebody out there, some female out there, is going to rescue herself and get out of this toxic world that you're in, where you think you can compete with us on our level. You cannot. We don't care about your money. You nurses, doctors, lawyers, we don't give a damn. Watch what, listen, Steve Harvey interviewed a bunch of successful women, and even the white man was rejecting them. These 30 something successful, 200,000, drive nice cars, whatever, they had it all. No children, no man. Look at the interview Steve Harvey did. There was another woman, same thing. She had her own business. She has a beauty business where you sell beauty products, and she started it and went online, and it hit hard. She's like, I got 3 cars outside. I live in a $300,000 house. She's like, I got all the space in here. She says, I'm lonely. She says, I want to go back to living in a 2-bedroom and struggling. I'm just trying to tell you, women, your money is not an issue to us. I've dated women who had millions of dollars. I didn't care. She wanted me to marry her. I said no. Another woman was like, I'll take care of you. I said no. She's like, marry me, I'll take care of you. It's like, absolutely not. A couple months later, she found another guy, said the same thing. They got married. They had 2 other kids, and then they were divorced 10 years later. What do you think happened? He wasn't the head of the house. You think your money is something that attracts us. It only attracts somebody who's going to use you. But for a man standing on his own 2, doing his own work, making his own money, I don't care how he gets it. If it's his, if it didn't come from you, I don't care if he's on food stamps. He didn't get it from you. If he's standing on his own 2, it does not come from you, then guess what? He doesn't care about your money. And if you're going to give him money, if you're going to give him, thousands of dollars and spend on it, that's on you. If you're buying them PlayStations and expensive shoes that fall apart, and all this other ridiculous stuff you think that we all need, that's on you. But now you got women presenting money to men. The whole thing is flipped over on its head. You got women in their 40s and 50s trying to attract the young dude to come over and blow their back out, and telling them, listen, I'll pay you to do it. You want a PlayStation? Here, come on over here and play it. You want to eat? I got food for you. You got grandmothers and aunties bending over saying, come and get this. Here's some food here. Here's your PlayStation here. They're not coming after me. They're going after these young dudes. Because the older guys like me know better. The whole thing is flipped over. She shouldn't be on the internet doing that. She should have a man that she's married to for the last 30 years, and she should be straight. But no, she wanted to do it on her own, and now she's lonely because men like me see that. We're just like, we already know what it is. So you're going to get somebody young and stupid and whose dick is hard every day to come over here and blow your back out, but that's going to get old too. It's going to get old. It's your boy Tone 202. God loves you, and so do I.